Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back for the first time. So initially, a question was posed on my friend's Facebook page that was very simple. Said, could Goku beat Thanos? To which I immediately thought, they're out of their mind. There's no way Goku could beat Thanos. I know some of y'all yelling at me right now saying, it's Thanos. Don't worry, we'll get to that as well. Now, I had commented on that thread when it was 2 or 3 comments deep. A few hours later, there's over 150 comments on that. So I yelled out for the nerds to assemble, and I got some of the best minds in the game, people. I'm telling you. We got Erise, we got Ian, we got Randall, we got Steffan, and we were even able to con in one of the great legendary voiceover artists, George Washington III. He voiced Jon Stewart on DC Universe Online. So, you know, we kind of already know which way he was leaning, but conversation got deep, conversation got great, started and ended about Goku versus Thanos, but along the way we hit along Darkseid, or Darkseid, however they want to call it. We talked about Batman, we talked about Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet, cybernetic enhancements, mystic training, you know, Goku's flawless technique, his Super Saiyan God, Kaioken times 20, whatever the hell that is. If you understood anything that I just said, then you are going to enjoy this conversation. So here we go, guys. Strap in, get ready for a nerdgasm, because we're going to give it to you. It's Battle World Coliseum! Starring Erise, Ian, Randall, we've got Steffan, and introducing George Washington III. And as always, I'm your host, Michael. Yay! Dragon Ball Z. Dragon, come. It's Battle World Coliseum. This episode is Goku versus Thanos. Goku versus Thanos. Thanos, potato, let's get it on.
All right, so let's go around the room, just kind of introduce who we are, and these are the people that are going to be talking shit today, people, so just be ready.
My name is Erise.
Give me a little bit closer, a little bit more.
Starting over. My name is...
Yeah, one more time.
Erise Caldwell. Well, I was born in Charlotte. I do photography on the side, Caldwell Photography. I'm also go to school, and I participate at Pokemon Draft.
All right, and next to you we have...
Ian. What's up, guys? My name is Ian McCabe. I am a lifetime nerd and current CEO of the Pokemon League Championship. That our headquarters is here in Charlotte, but we actually are nationwide. We got players in New York and stuff like that. We actually had somebody in Hawaii the other day, and then somebody from Australia tried to join. But it's the Pokemon League Championship. We do a stream on Sundays on Twitch, and we got a YouTube channel, so definitely check it out.
Well, they don't have Pokemon in Australia. I think it's called Pokemate.
Nice and cheesy.
All right, and next we've got...
Randall Blake. I'm from Ona, West Virginia. I've been a welder for about 20 years. Just got into the whole Marvel universe with Iron Man, so it's exciting.
Okay. Now, before we jump to Steffan, what kind of nerd are you? For me, it's going to be a Marvel, a DC. You know, I'll name off a few types, but that's my style of nerdism. What style of nerd are you?
It's pretty versatile.
Ah,
I like
okay.
Marvel. I like anime. I do like DC. I'm more of a Marvel fan than DC.
Oh,
like
you're
DC.
smart.
I'm also a science nerd, so...
Okay, I accept that. Nerds got a little geek in them sometimes. All right. Ian, what kind of nerd are you?
Jack of all nerds, man. So
Master of none.
I got started as a video game nerd when I was younger, but always been into cartoons, always been into video games and stuff. So I actually kind of consider myself a cartoon connoisseur. I like to, you know, enjoy the different styles of American cartoons versus Japanese, and then, you know, see their crossovers whenever they get, you know, interesting art styles. And I just like to sit down when I see something, like, you know, like the conversation today. I'll see something, I'll be like, all right, let me see this information. Let me see who does this. Because, like, once I get into a nerd thing, you know, I'll get into that hole where it's like, oh, yeah, Thanos did this. And then that Terrigen bomb exploded. But what's a Terrigen bomb? Like, I gotta know that.
Terrigen, just to...
Terrigen. There you go. Mispronouncing it.
You should forget that.
But,
You probably say GIF.
Sorry, sorry, about to jump in there and give you the... Although, no, sorry. That's
Actually, it's the Terrigen bomb.
So I like to research that stuff, but I'm all around.
Randall, what kind of nerd are you?
Oh, anime and video games, probably. Spend a lot of time. World of Warcraft is the jam, man.
Okay. All right. And next we have?
We have Steffan, however you want to pronounce it. I would actually call myself a jack of all trades as well, master of nothing. I've been exposed to a lot of different things. I mainly blame cons in high school for that. But yeah, and in regards to what I do personally, as of right now, I'm trying to get my acting career off the ground and getting a little bit of notoriety on YouTube. As of right now, I'm just working on my character voices, and I am planning on just doing parodies. Right now, the one project that I'm doing is a parody of My Hero Academia. The first episode should be on YouTube by May 20th.
Nice. Good stuff right there. And finally, joining us, we have...
George Washington III. I consider myself an elder nerd because look, I'm talking about
Toss us back the hood.
Yes, let's talk about because the first nerd cartoon I recall was Prince Planet. Do you guys even remember that?
I don't even
know about that. So Prince Planet was one of the first Japanese cartoons to come to the United States.
That is an elder nerd.
So Prince Planet, Speed Racer. I'm from the old school. Gigantor. Y'all know what. Talk about space giants. What y'all know about Gamera?
I know he's a turtle that knows ninjutsu.
So I've been reading comic books since I was a little kid. I have been DC and Marvel and occasionally Image and others different brands of comics. Star Wars, not as much. Star Trek, more. Fantasy, all that kind of stuff. And these guys don't know that, but I've been John Stewart. I've been a DC superhero because I was John Stewart in DC Universe Online. So I got to be a superhero in that instance. So I am...
So your allegiance is already there.
My allegiance is... Well, no. You see, I understand. I like DC and I like Marvel. It just depends on what time, what year is it am I interested in it, you know?
What version of the planet?
Trust me, because I was a Justice League guy for a very long time. And now...
Until they came out with the movie.
Well, yeah.
Well, hold on now. The cinematic
Superman
universe
was better.
that's very different.
Yeah, the cinematic universe is shit. Except for Wonder Woman, they've done a crap job.
DC be slaying the cartoons.
The cartoons, they always look...
Like, DC can do animated, but Marvel can do live action.
Yes, that is almost... exactly the case.
Why
because
Marvel
look,
TV
I was a big
better?
Justice League and Justice League Unlimited guy. I watched those. I recently watched Justice League Unlimited again because it is a great show. It may be the best cartoon ever as far as superhero stuff goes. I mean, the only thing close to it on the Marvel side was Marvel's Avengers before the MCU started.
I wouldn't even say any Marvel animated show really even comes close to like JLA and Batman animated series, your Batman Beyond, like any of the DC animated series.
Yeah, DC's killing it.
Slay Marvel because Marvel tries to make them too childish.
Well, they do. Yeah. They have always done.
I love
the
Teen
Marvel
Titans.
Ones. Yes. Yeah. Well, Teen Titans Go is a different thing,
That's
but
a different
What about the '90s X-Men series?
See.
Okay.
All right. You guys are going to have to speak to that because what happened to me now, mind you, let's see, in the 90s, I was having my first children, and I was, so I had kind of stepped back from my nerddom at that moment, and so I wasn't watching X-Men, and I had actually stopped reading the X-Men comic while I was in college because I was just sick of Inferno and all this. I'm like, so you guys are going to have to speak to X-Men as a show because I'm told that it is one of the greats of all time.
X-Men, original Spider-Man, those are all really hot, definitely. But I got to agree with you on as far as like just hands down the DCU of animated video game storylines, like
especially video game.
Dude,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, I'll agree.
The Batman Arkham series.
The Arkham series, even Injustice has gotten to the point where it took Injustice and made a comic book out of it.
Yeah, and that comic is fire.
Yeah, yeah.
Why can't they get together and just figure it out?
Well, they did in the 90s.
Yeah, you're talking about
the
that
Cosmic Cube.
the Tesseract.
Yeah, they just
Well, no, it was actually a bum on the street.
Cosmic Cube's technically not the Tesseract, but there was it wasn't even just the Cosmic Cube. There was this. It's kind of like the Beyonder, but it was kind of a multiversal.
The homeless
entity.
man god.
Yeah, that was in between the Marvel and the DC, and he like brought them together, and then that's when you had like Batman fight Captain America, and like you had Superman,
and then they shot
fighting
out Dark Claw.
Yeah.
And then you get the parallel villain, you get Hyena,
the Amagon universe.
The 90s, we did have those the amalgam universes where we had the super spider or whatever, where it was Spider-Man versus versus Superman.
But there was, and I don't know if you guys saw this. This was a long time ago. There was a Justice League versus Avengers 4-issue series.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
I didn't catch that.
It was George Perez drawing it, so it was beautiful. And it ended up being they were all fighting Krona, the guy who kicked off.
I think that's the person I'm talking about.
Yep. Krona started he's the one who unleashed evil into the DC universe because he looked at the beginning of the universe, see the hand holding, the beginning of the universe, and it was incredible just because you got to see these characters together, and Silver Surfer, because there was a time when Marvel and DC were occasionally putting stuff together. It was Teen Titans and X-Men versus Dark Phoenix and Darkseid.
Okay, now
on top of that, though, I will say, in that series, you get this image of a torn up Superman with Captain America's shield and Thor's hammer, because he's worthy, right? And he's just like, I'm Superman with all the best stuff.
It was beautiful. And
I got the best toys.
And at the very end, when it's over, he's gonna try and hand Thor his hammer. He goes, "Let me get this for you." He goes, bang. And Thor's like, my father knows when people are worthy and when when it's necessary for other people to do it, but because he couldn't lift it after the need to be able to do it was
and
over.
That's like Silver Age Superman. So if you're talking Silver Age Superman, that's a dude that's moving planets with his hands and stuff.
And still can't lift Mjolnir.
There you go.
All right, I need to pose a question here. When I read it, it's pronounced Mjolnir. Mjolnir. Okay. Now at
not
the
Mjolnir.
But go ahead. Is it meme or meme?
Mimi or meme?
Oh my god.
Now I grew up reading the X-Men like George did, but I always pronounce things different in my head. So when the X-Men movies came out and they called him Magneto, I have a problem with that. His power is magnetism, not magnetism.
You call him Magneto?
I call him Magneto.
My entire life it's been Magneto. From the time he had Asteroid M and all these things, it was Magneto.
It's never been... Because it's not a magnet.
Well, I think you're the odd
it's not
one
the
out
power
here,
of magnetism.
I think it's just you.
It's neat that he can use that.
I'd like to start off. I'd like to start off this podcast by saying I don't know anything about what I'm talking about.
So you guys say Magneto.
To my or his point, like I grew up on the X-Men series, so like in the comics when I read it, I had already seen the show. So like the show was like
it ruined it for you.
The show was like I'm Magneto and
But see, I'm that asshole that's like, you guys that wrote it, that produced it, you're pronouncing it wrong.
You're an official licensed property.
Magneto.
And was it Terrigen Bomb or Terrigen Bomb?
Is it Thanos or Thanos?
Soft G. Terrigen. Thanos. Oh my god.
Is it Thanos or Thanos?
Thanos.
I always said it was when I read it, it was always Thanos. Oh,
there's
in
no
my
E.
mind.
They had an accent mark on the A for you?
So Thanos is kind of a shortened version of Thanatos. So the death, the death urge,
or Thanatos.
Yeah. So if you want to be that way, but yeah,
which speaks to his entire love affair.
Well,
Yeah.
as a matter of fact, that's what brought us here today. Is the original comment? Well, the original question was on Erise's page, and I think you were like, some turd said Goku could beat Thanos. Okay, I'm going to say Thanos just to piss everyone in the room off for the rest of the day.
Yeah. Because that's
And-
you.
Had a marker.
And we started at like, what was it, 8, 9, 10 comments, and I looked back at it, and it was over 156 comments on this thing. So we're here to finally get an answer for all of nerddom. Everybody across all the worldwide interwebs can Google this, and this is your final answer.
It's just like budget death battle.
Budget death battle.
None of us are
You're
animators.
just going to talk about it.
Feats, bro.
With a new segment called Talk It Out.
All right. All right. So here's my thinking about it, because actually, yes, I went to breakfast with my girlfriend and I started talking about this, which shows you just how bad it is. I turned 50 today, and I'm talking about this stuff.
Happy birthday, Joe.
Beyonce sympathizes.
So here's the thing. Whose universe are you in?
That's a great
That's a good
question.
question.
We talked
Yeah,
about that because the Infinity Stones don't work outside of the Marvel
That's
universe.
right, because Darkseid
No,
actually
they do.
had the
No, they
Infinity
don't.
Stones in the DC universe and said, "What is this?"
They only
and
work
they
in
didn't.
the Marvel-
They only work in the Marvel universe.
Because
But then they wouldn't be Infinity
Well, I'm saying, because
Stones.
the
They'd be
being-
Marvel Stones.
well, that's when you're talking about cross. I mean, not even cross-dimensional, really,
Right.
because there's already Earth like 999 over.
Yeah.
You're talking about
Squared.
pan-dimensional stuff, and essentially, what the way they explained it was that like the entity that died and manifested the stones was born in the Marvel universe, and so the stones only manipulate.
Only reach and
They only manipulate the reality of the universe they were born in.
Yeah, and vice versa. The same thing would go with, like, say, items like the Dragon Balls. Like, they would only work within the Dragon Ball universe.
So if you put Goku in the Marvel universe and with Thanos with the Infinity Stones, he would go, and that's the end of it, because he can do that. Because I mean, if you
negate plot armor,
if you negate
plot
plot
armor
armor,
now.
because if you think, because
Japan would
big
make a
Joker or
difference.
little Joker?
did you guys read Infinity Gauntlet, the original
Yes.
book? So you saw in Infinity Gauntlet, he beat everybody.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
no.
And he even
he
subjugated
became,
the Surfer.
yeah,
It was on
not
dog
just the
leash.
Surfer, but Galactus, every cosmic entity, Eternity.
Yes.
He became Eternity for all intents and purposes. That pretty much says, if you're in this universe, I can beat you. I'm just Thanos and dumb about stuff, and go, I'll just leave it down there. Nobody will mess with him.
really.
I'm going to put my gauntlet on the nightstand while I take a nap.
I'm saying, I think at the end of the day, he had to disrobe to get with Lady Death. So.
At the end of the
Even then,
day,
he couldn't pull
everybody's
that
got to
And
take
she's
it
like,
off.
I don't want none of that. That's pretty much how
Unless
that
your
came
name
down
is
to.
Wade Wilson, you can get up on out of my face.
That I did not know about this for a long time.
Thanos
Wait,
hates
that it's a love triangle between Death, Thanos, and Deadpool.
Yeah, the guy you don't like.
That guy I don't like.
Deadpool's the dude on the side. That's all I'm saying. Thanos is the one going to work
It's like
every
the
day,
main
putting in
AV
40 hours,
conversation is between-
killing half the universe.
I did this for you, baby.
He's been working on retirement ever since he showed up.
I became
Deadpool shows up
eternity
and like,
itself, and you're still with that Canadian motherfucker.
Hi. Wade's like, I'm ready to die, man. When is this going down? She's like, nah, honey. I need you on the side.
Okay. So, in Goku's universe, Randall, in Goku's universe, are you well versed in DBZ?
Fairly well, yeah.
Okay, in Goku's universe, would Thanos be able to survive or even win this fight?
Well, as they're saying, the Infinity Stones wouldn't work, so
Yeah.
would his mutant abilities pull over? Because even with those, he might still be able to pull off a win.
We got if we're gonna talk it, we gotta balance them out. So we gotta say like, you know, Negaverse possibly, you know what I'm saying, where they meet up and all their powers, natural powers are intact.
That they're born with.
Yeah, natural
yeah.
powers are intact.
Nothing.
No paraphernalia, you know what I mean? Like,
You put your Dragon Balls down, I'll put my gauntlet down. We'll handle this like mutant creatures.
And that's true because Thanos is enormously powerful without the stones.
Yeah.
I mean, he's fought Thor to a standstill without them. The Silver Surfer without them.
He's proven,
And that's the power cosmic.
and he's proven to go toe to toe with people like Odin. He's beaten Odin in certain storylines, especially with the Infinity Gauntlet. Yeah. But without the Infinity Gauntlet, he's gone toe to toe for a while, been able to hold his own against creatures like Odin. Who, I mean, another thing to point out, though, yes, he's beaten Thor and stuff, but Thor's never really just been like... Thor has access to the Odin Force and the Thor Force.
Yeah.
If he really wanted to, he could just be like, erase! Like,
this is true. Be gone!
And no spoiler
If he flips his shit, it's over. Yeah.
If you guys have seen Infinity War, the Infinity Gauntlet is not omniscient.
Yeah.
And, you know, let's be honest, it's nerfed. It's nerfed in the movie. It has to be. It has to be because, you know, when you think about what they say the Reality Stone does, it rewrites reality. Yeah. What it's doing in the movie is
making bubbles.
Illusions. Exactly. You know, the Infinity Stones, by their definition, are just too powerful. They are the ultimate
end all be all.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing that really should be able to stand up to them if they're used properly. The way he did in Infinity Gauntlet, except for, you know, again, leaving his husk of a body down there with the gauntlet still on. Say, hey, Nebula, you got anything else going on? She picks it up.
Oh, I hate you, Dad.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Right.
Being a parent's the same no matter where you're from. Titan there anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
They end up hating you.
But it's, I think, you know, it is the ultimate version of the overpowered thing, right? Because if everybody's afraid of them, why do they even exist? Why do you allow them to continue to exist in this universe if it has the threat of overthrowing the actual being who makes up the reality of that universe?
Yeah.
Y'all need to figure something out because that's not a good thing.
So,
what is this?
Hold on one second. Stefan?
So, I understand that we're all pretty much in favor of Thanos winning this fight, but I'll play devil's advocate here, and I'll try and say my words for Goku. So
final words for Goku.
so the scenario that we've created for this our fake battle arena is that it's a neutral battleground in which they both have like their natural powers.
Now is Kamehameha?
That's a natural power.
Kamehameha. That is a technique that he learned. Yes,
okay, so that's a natural power for him.
Yes,
Thanos also has energy projection too, though.
So they're about on equal terms. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and list out Goku's abilities and what he's been able to accomplish thus far, because I'd like to assume that we're going to basically do this as what they can do as of right now.
Also, question. Is there negative space like the land of Kaiser? Is it indestructible where Goku can just let loose? Because he's had to tone down.
He's destroyed planets.
He's had to tone down his transformations that could just transforming into Super Saiyan 2 if he didn't hold it back could destroy a whole planet. Like when he transformed into Super Saiyan 1, Namek was like, I'm out.
I mean, yeah, sure. Let's just go ahead and say that they're fighting
can survive.
Yeah, let's say that they have free reign on their sandbox world.
Yes.
So if we were to take a look at what Goku has done, his highest power that he's ever attained is Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, or what's been shortened to Super Saiyan Blue.
Ultra Instinct.
That you see at the end of that series is like, it was just a phase. Sorry, Mom.
Just something was
didn't
going
mean
through.
to cause so much noise upstairs.
Definitely plot armor.
A definite plot armor.
You still have to take that into account that he has
once he
accomplished
attains that as a Saiyan, his genetics. Once he attains a higher level, his other forms automatically base level get stronger. And also, every time he loses, he doubles in strength. That's just a genetic trait of a Saiyan.
It's very true. So, we can go ahead and say that...
I'm sorry, I don't know enough about Dragon Ball Z to be able, but that just sounds like, we're just going to keep building on this guy.
Yeah, but here's what you got to do. You can't beat him!
He takes the L's on purpose.
What doesn't kill you only makes you stronger.
They took that shit to heart.
Can you shoot me in the thigh so I can double in strength real quick?
Sure. Actual key strat. But
that's the nature of Goku, you know.
Okay, so out of y'all guys, because I'm sure that you can compare with both universes. I'm not looking at you, George. Not like that. You just admitted. Would it be a fair statement to say that that Thanos is on the same parallel as to Broly?
Yeah. I mean, strength-wise.
Well, I like Broly, but I always felt like Broly wasn't as strong as everyone say.
The problem.
I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
Just think about it. Like when he fought the Second Coming, when he fought Gohan,
When Jesus
never
came
went,
back? The second coming?
Jesus isn't in
No,
Pokemon?
what the hell have I been missing?
Well, yeah,
don't
Jesus
say
is
nothing
a
about
Pokemon.
maximum
Super
power.
Saiyan?
Me was Jesus.
You're cluttering these things up, man. Don't do it.
Anyway, Gohan never went
Goku
Super
beat
Saiyan
Jesus?
2 in that movie.
Again, those Saiyans retain their base forms get stronger when they ascend.
But he didn't go Super Saiyan 2.
But
Just
he is-
think.
Also, most of the movies are bullshit anyway.
I mean, that's true.
if
but
you
at the
wanna
same- that's the
split
same time,
hairs.
if we're using
Most of them are
like
canon.
feats and whatnot, like when he fought, let's say BoJack. Do you remember BoJack?
Yeah, BoJack, yeah.
BoJack Horseman?
Gohan was getting
Probably not
owned
that one.
until he went true Super Saiyan 2, and then he wiped them.
But BoJack was when Gohan was teen Gohan back then versus
That's true.
BoJack, and now we have adolescent Gohan. Who and in the time that he fought Broly in the Second Coming, it should have been around the time of Boo, because we had Super Saiyan Goten and Trunks, and they did know the fusion dance.
Yeah.
They didn't do it, but they knew the fusion dance. So we're talking possibly. A potential unlocked Gohan. So
Yeah.
like his base form already has access to all his Super Saiyan powers.
Was it? What, did he have a purple uniform on? Like,
He had his orange uniform on.
It was Periwinkle.
But I would say, as far as the comparison of Thanos to Broly, strength wise, yes, but Broly is a little more vulnerable than Thanos, because like his energy is so powerful that even his body can't.
Yeah, his skin can barely contain it.
So when Goku got like the powers from all of the people, he was like, "Give me your energy, guys! I can't, I can never handle this by myself. Let me get that energy. And they
Here,
were like,
it's yours.
Take
Just
it.
take it.
He gave him that punch in the gut, and like that like cracked his container, so to speak, and Broly kind of exploded. I don't think that Goku is punching Thanos in the gut and making Thanos explode.
Okay,
I agree with
that's
that.
fair. All right, so I have a question for you now, George, because you're probably more versed in Thanos than I am.
Yeah.
Is Thanos a planet buster?
Thanos is capable of being a planet buster because, I mean, and he is an Eternal. And the Eternals are
Eternal deviant
the
mutate.
Eternal deviant. So Eternals all have the ability to fly and all have this, energy manipulation. But he
They
is
don't have to
so
learn the
much farther.
Kamehameha.
Exactly, they don't have to earn it.
They're born with that shit.
But they're born with it. He's just gotten so much more powerful than everyone else. He technically could be a planet buster, but he's never done it without use of the stones.
He's never really wanted.
No, because that's not been his goal. I mean,
Exactly.
his goal,
It's true.
Exactly.
No, it's kind of like Darkseid. It's
Yeah.
like it's not so much of like, oh, I can blow up any
No.
planet I want. I want to own the planet.
He's
I
not-
want to own all of the planets.
And
I want
it's
to
not only
enslave
that
the
he is-
planet.
Exactly. It's not that he is only physically powerful. He is also a king, and that's that thing because
he's a ruler.
He's a ruler,
conqueror.
and that's what he does.
The Mad Titan. To add on to that,
Yes.
though, he's not only an eternal deviant mutate. I had to look that up last night.
Yep.
He's an eternal deviant mutate, but he also has enhanced himself cybernetically. He's enhanced himself with mysticism powers. So, like, basically the magical entities of the Marvel Universe are extremely powerful, and he's versed in that. So you could put him on magically, and maybe not on the level of Doom, because Doom crazy, but but he's up there with the magical users like Stephen Strange and Doom and stuff. He has access to the mysticism, and at the same time, he's depending on the story. If you go with the new one, Thanos Kills, he straight wiped Celestials off the map.
Yeah.
And but I did want to point this out. If you're gonna talk about their comparisons, you do have to compare similar instances where they fought. So where they fought things that were similar. So like Thanos with the Time Stone can be equated to Goku fighting Hit, who has time skip, and Goku found a way out of the time skip. Like Hit basically can stop time, move however he wants, etc. Then
I forgot about that
also,
encounter.
I didn't even know about that.
the power gemstone is essentially destruction energy, and in the DBS universe, destruction energy or Hakai or Haki, whatever they call it. Goku's been shown. It's even worse than that. 'Cause
Yeah,
destruction energy straight up just erases stuff. So it's essentially the same thing as the destruction soul gem, and Goku's been shown to absorb and dispel that. So So even in an instance where he does have some of the stones, Goku has fought things of similar repute. And
he's won because he's still here.
Yeah,
in his universe, he's won.
To the fairness, as far as the time skip goes, he was in a tournament where killing was disallowed.
Well, and here's the one thing to remember, right? Thanos is a villain, and he is written to lose. Mm-hmm. Ultimately, he is going to lose.
He does have his own plot armor,
right?
Though.
His plot armor, he does have his own plot armor. You recall the reason Thanos usually loses is because he doesn't believe he deserves it.
Yeah.
Right?
He sabotages himself.
Subconsciously. He's done it more than once. He did it with the Cosmic Cube. He's done it with the Infinity Gauntlet.
I was about to say, how else do you lose the Infinity Gauntlet?
Yeah,
the second death is like, hey, baby, come on over. He's going to be like, I did deserve it.
This all me, baby. That's what I was all about.
I just wanted you to notice.
And then Thanos the last 3 minutes and then cry. This never happened before.
It's okay, baby. It happens to lots of men.
It's okay.
But I'm a Titan.
Oh, man.
Goddamn Scarlet Witch. Okay, so are we any closer to figure it out?
Okay, so what I've surmised is that even if we were to include the Infinity Gauntlet, that Goku can manage against like half the stones?
You could say half the stones, and also you've seen the Dragon Ball Super Tournament of Power, I'm assuming?
Right.
So the being that died and generated the Infinity Stones could probably be equated to Zeno. Zeno is like the god of that universe. He can erase whole realities with essentially the flick of his wrist, like homeboy Mad Titan. But look
at the flick of the wrist,
and managing to be super kawaii about it the whole time.
But I think one of the main points that was brought up in the initial debate was Goku's desire to fight people at their best. So there was the debate.
Yeah.
That
would be his
no. Go
undoing.
ahead, fam. Go ahead, put on that Infinity Gauntlet.
Power. That's the positive.
Erise was saying like, Goku's gonna be like, yo, here's the Infinity Gems. I went and looked for him for you, bro.
I scoured the globe. I saw some Dragon Balls on my way. I
went to Voldemir. I had them craft another gauntlet for you, son. Like,
yo, Bulma even crafted me this special locator.
Here. Now, can we fight? He's
Bulma probably could.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, guy. It was really nice.
Okay, now if we're gonna if we're gonna give him that Infinity Gauntlet that works, we're gonna have to assume plot armor works, and we're gonna have to say that Goku goes negative Super Saiyan, like he wills himself back into existence. Like
his hair is just a pulsating rainbow the entire time.
He's like, you're erased. Thanos is like, all right, I'm about to get out of here. I got my girl at 8. And then Goku's like, thanks. And he's like, well, I just erased you. He's like, you can't erase what you can't see, homie.
He's like, reverse. That's the mind.
But I'm in your mind.
But yeah, so like, so you got to negate plot armor on this interaction, obviously, because if you were to include it, Thanos has it and Goku has it, but Thanos inherently has a weaker plot armor because he's a villain.
Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. I wonder. So this is me as not being DBZ fluent. Has he ever had to fight someone who could put him in an entirely different place? In that the Soul Gem, though it's not shown in the film so far,
do you want to count
the entire universe?
Yes, the whole realm.
Yeah, and it might be. It might be. We may have seen that in the Walking with Gamora and all that stuff.
That's why only certain people can carry it.
Right.
Like
so Warlock was one of the people who could use it because he the first who
he was
could
born.
use it,
He was almost
in
born
the Soul
of the Soul
Gem.
Gem.
Him
Came out of it.
Yes, him downstairs.
Adam. But that kind of. I'll just remove you from this universe.
If you're to include non-canon movies, technically, yes. In that instance where he fought Janemba,
he can warp realities in Lego style.
And so, like, he has fought reality warping people. He's fought people with time skipping abilities, like. And obviously, we're talking about a main character here. So
yeah. He's going to win. I mean, that's the thing, right?
He's going to win in the end. He's going to struggle, but he's going to win.
He's written to win even if he loses. So, he doubles.
Yeah, exactly. So we have to write this encounter with a negation of plot armor for sure, but he has fought against those type of stones. Let's just
all
not
at
even
once?
not all at once. For sure.
That's going to be one of
Let's
the
not
kickers.
even include him. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And let's say that his peak form would be Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Kaioken times 20, which I know that's a lot of words, but.
What did you say?
Kaioken.
Kaioken times 20, yeah.
Kaioken, get it done.
Thanos is done.
I don't know.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Kaioken.
Kyle what?
Then you got to compare speeds too. So Thanos can wreck with Hulk. So strength wise, they're probably on par with each other. But Goku has teleportation basically through instant transmission.
Yeah.
He has basically he can move his feet faster than most humans can see. Obviously, Thanos not a human. He could probably keep up with.
He could probably
some
see
things
it.
Yeah,
I see what you're
He
doing
could
there.
probably keep up with Quicksilver. I think he probably has.
But if you have the time stone, you don't.
You don't need to. You are literally faster than the brain can process
So
because
it's-
you're not thinking.
That's the obviously this is the joy
Can't
of
be
this
fast
kind
if
of
you don't
argument,
exist.
right? That is the joy of this kind of argument, at least when it's held in person, where you aren't sitting behind a keyboard and calling each other all terrible names.
In caps. In all caps.
Yes, that's right.
You need to know I'm yelling at you.
Space 4 exclamation marks.
Because trying to account for essentially the greatest MacGuffin in comic book history
Yep.
and what you can possibly do with the greatest MacGuffin of all time, because you can do anything.
Except
there's
you're
a
dead.
reality stone. It can shape reality. Okay, in my reality, Goku is just a weak little child. Okay, done.
GT.
Does it work? Do we know?
Well, if you do want to say that, he was wished to child state in GT.
And he still found a way to beat.
Of course he did.
He used his Kamehameha.
Because he grew his tail back as a kid in that series.
So
And
then he got the
essentially
power of
Saiyans-
Ozaru.
Yeah, Saiyans could transform. They're were-apes. You know what I'm saying? So they could transform into apes, and their power essentially
The whole Dragon Ball Z
multiplies by
world
10.
is a MacGuffin.
Oh yeah, it turns into King Kong that
Which
shoots
is
Godzilla
exactly why
beams.
this is such a good match. Because you have
They can both do anything.
That's
yeah,
right.
exactly.
For the power of plot
Well,
armor.
and that's because I think about this because you guys know this. One of my favorite epic rap battles of history is Superman versus Goku, and and it's because Superman ends up with those same kind of things. Like, what does Superman need to be able to do? This, okay, he can do that, and that's what they do with Goku. It's like, how's he going to get out of this? Well, let's write around here that somewhere he can re-evolve this ability, and he's suddenly okay because he's the hero.
I gotta
and the
say,
hero has to win.
I feel like
ultimately.
Superman's worse. If we're gonna bring that up, because I got a chip on my shoulder. I like to say that I'm consistently Luthering, which is a term that I've come up where
Mr. Luthor. Mr. Luthor.
where I basically have studied all of his weaknesses, and I know what it takes to take Superman down, and I'm constantly like, all right,
Martha.
so bet.
That's all it takes. Martha.
So bet. I got kryptonite, right? And my homie would be like, nah, he destroyed all kryptonite. I'd be like, that's not true. Batman kept a vault of it, and he's sitting on that.
He's sitting on that shit and it's doubling in value.
But with that, Goku won't use kryptonite against Superman.
No. But I was saying, for me, I Luthor, quote
Oh,
unquote,
yeah.
a lot, where I'm trying to see Superman go down. And the reason that I would say that Goku is more fun to watch than Superman is because other people fight with Goku and actually do stuff. Whereas in an instance where Superman's the main character or Superman's a part of the deal, nobody else can do what Superman can do, and nobody's gonna fight that cosmic entity but Superman. Maybe Batman, because Batman is the antithesis of him in the sense that he can just. He's like, yo, I got kung fu though.
I can plan anything because. Go ahead.
A nice way to put that in quotes is that Goku, you can basically sum him up as your average man who is always trying to overcome his goals, whether it's save Namek from Frieza, overcome Cell's power, or even passing it on to his son, beating Boo and finally using the the spirit bomb and actually have it succeed. Regardless, it's all about him trying to overcome obstacles and becoming stronger as he goes by. And then with Superman, it's like he's already powerful. He can already no, it's not
all the time.
It's like a god trying to live amongst men. He's trying to make sure that what he's doing is the right thing because he can do anything, but is it the right choice?
That is specifically his story. I mean, is trying to, and what did they say? The man of steel living in a world of people made of cardboard.
Yeah.
But why does an alien god have Earth morals?
Because he was raised by
Kansas. Man.
That's why.
He was raised in
He's got them good Christian values.
But they still told him who he was, right?
At first they didn't. He was raised in deep MAGA country. First.
Yes, Red State Superman.
And when he was a baby, when he was like a kid, all of a sudden he started hearing the whole country, and he was like, "Whoa, what's going on?"
Dude, I'll lift that wall for you.
His mom was like, "Listen, all right, you came in a spaceship. It's not that big a deal." You know what, moms? You're right.
Yeah, and it's true because that is one of the things that defines Superman, because that is one of his central conflicts with Luthor, is that Luthor, given that power, will do everything he can to be in charge. Yeah. Superman chooses not to do that, and he specifically says that because he's often accused of that. You are a god. Why are you doing this? And it's because humanity.
I got one too on that one.
You go ahead first.
So, as far as Luthor goes, should Superman have not existed? Yes, Luthor is a bad dude, but should Superman have not existed, Luthor would have never got into supercrime. Like, Luthor just wanted to be the best. And when Superman comes to the planet and is doing whatever he wants, Luthor's like, I want that. Like, why can't I do that? And he's like, I gotta find a way to bring this man's down.
Well, that leads to the basic question. Superheroes are birthing supervillains.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Especially in the Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the reason.
Single-handedly responsible for almost all of his greatest villains.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I know we've been talking a good bit about Superman and Goku, but I'm going to try and be the bigger man and bring this back to my boy Thanos. Okay, so we've established that it's a pretty 50-50 situation when it comes to whether or not Thanos has access to the Infinity Gauntlet, because Goku will definitely let him have it. There's no question about that.
I think we got to take it away from him.
We've gotten a good 60% of the stones.
You don't want this, Goku. You don't want it like this.
Somebody's got to make a decision for Goku at this point.
So let's play devil's advocate and try and flip the switch. Let's say that they're both fighting on like natural ground and natural footing of what they can just do.
Yeah,
both butt naked fighting.
Essentially,
if he's butt naked, Thanos loses his suit. He's got a suit that's got cybernetic.
Let me put it. I will say this then: given what I know of Goku now, there's no way Thanos could defeat him based on them fighting on what they have by their own abilities,
by their birth.
Because Goku, by definition, even if Thanos beats him, he wakes up an hour later like, all right, let's go, and he's twice as powerful.
Yeah.
Right?
I can actually agree with that simply because all the enhancement Thanos has done to himself would be stripped away. All his mysticism powers that he studied.
Since he studied them, we got to give them to him. But what my thing is, like, yes, he could win, but is this first encounter is the question. Like, because in second encounter, hands down, Goku's probably going to take that one. Yeah. Because he knows what Thanos can do. He's seen him do it. And another Saiyan trait, quote unquote, is they can see something once and learn it. So, like he learned all of Thanos' moves in that first encounter, if it's the second encounter.
Well, we already said that Thanos subconsciously sabotages himself. So, second encounter, I'll give Goku.
Hands down, Goku. First encounter.
But not in Goku's favor, that he's not the sharpest crayon in the box.
Battle-wise, though. Smart. Like, as far as, like,
Flawless
as far
technique.
as 2 plus 2, Goku says 5.
Goku
but when it comes to this 2-piece,
2 plus
Goku
2 equals 4
4-piece.
That's quick math.
I guess
What is flawless technique? You're saying
Like he said, after the first battle, he'll learn all their moves and know basically how they're going to approach the battle or fight.
Yeah.
So he's like the taskmaster.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can memorize
Saiyan's
after
nice
seeing
reach.
it
I
once.
like that one.
Taskmaster ability,
So
essentially.
you're saying this Super Saiyan freaking badass Goku has the same powers as a B-list villain in Marvel?
Well, yeah. Hey, well, he's not.
But he's cool.
Taskmaster's
cool.
put
He had the
down some,
photographic memory.
Taskmaster's put down some people, though.
Yeah, he really has.
And yet he can't drive a car.
The thing is, and when you do it this way, you say this is what their powers are. Marvel generally does this. They put limits on their characters, which is why they're different from DC characters in a lot of instances. Green Lanterns literally can do anything. They say it.
Will.
Lanterns can do
Yeah.
anything they can imagine so long as they have the willpower to do it.
As long as they're not afraid.
Hashtag Hal Jordan.
Yeah. Exactly.
There you
Aquaman, who I like. I don't care what people say about him. I actually like him. They have developed his power suite.
Talk to this fish. Put it on my hook.
I mean, well, they've gone as far as
Swim
for
to
a
the
time
sauce.
he was hydrokinetic. He was able to move
was
water,
hot.
that sort of thing, and he's moved on to now that he has the trident, he has an enormous power set.
Didn't he have missing an arm at one point?
Yeah, at one point he had no hand, right?
JLA,
Yeah.
Well, he had his arm in the comics. He had his hand eaten off,
And it was a spear that they put
and so
on or
they put
something.
that thing on. They put that hook on, and is able to shoot it and all that. My favorite example of Aquaman power spread in the beginning of the Justice League in 1990, when it had been kicked off again, they're fighting the White Martians, and this one fast
Even invading outer space people is white.
That's right, the White Martians.
There's green and
Damn,
white. There's
There's
Jesus.
green Martians and white Martians.
DC down with
What's
colors.
crazy-
I understand it. I broke the code.
What's crazy is there is Martian racism.
There is Martian. There is. As a
I
matter of
know.
fact, there's Martian races between the green, the white, and the red that they sent off to Saturn. Anyway,
Going beyond that.
so this one white Martian who is approximating a speedster is like cutting up rocks with his hand. He says, "So you talk to fish. What can you do?" And Aquaman says, "Well, I can locate the basal ganglia in your brain where you evolved from fish, and I can give you a seizure." The guy's like, and falls down. Right?
So wait, you're saying he can do that to anybody?
He can do
Sees
that
out.
to anybody. Yes. So
It's
this
like-
is because DC characters
He's got the power of
get
quick flashing lights.
power creep. That's part of the thing.
Porygon.
Their powers just become whatever they need them to be eventually.
Yeah.
And Marvel characters generally don't do that. At least not on that level. I mean, because you've seen like Mr. Fantastic, I remember. All right, going back to old school, right? Fantastic Four 200. So this is old.
Yeah.
Making himself super, super, super thin, reaching through things, trying to get to stuff.
yeah.
So yeah, you give heroes the ability to have ingenuity with their powers, but Goku's ability is like that times a million, right?
pretty close.
It's because like you know what, he can do this now.
Just the concussive force of his transformation can.
Yeah, if you wreck planets by changing form, that's pretty ugly.
Did that make you a villain? There were some decent people on that planet. I guarantee you. Hardworking men and women,
Namek
people that have
had been-
families.
When he did do it the first time, Namek was basically dead. All the Namekians were basically
Frieza
dead.
wiped out everybody.
And he was like, okay, like.
So fuck
screw
the
this-
wildlife
screw
too,
this planet,
right?
Screw it. Honestly, I don't. There was like maybe geckos on Namek. I don't think I
The
ever saw.
Namekian frogs.
Yeah, like I never saw.
Give 'em a
there
chance.
were
They
Namekian frogs for sure.
Give them a chance; they can sell insurance.
But yeah, so like I would say you got to put them on equal terms. Goku's not going to go faster than he has to, so speed wise, he's just going to match up with Thanos. Basically, he'll dodge if he has to, but like Thanos eventually going to hit the dude.
Eventually,
Yeah, and like also Thanos is also a genius. So he's got super intellect. So like the second Goku hits him with that cross counter, he's like, "Oh, okay, I can't play around with this guy. He just knocked out my left molar. Nobody's ever done that before."
you see this chin? This is made to get punched.
Yeah, I'm saying like I did chin ups all day just to get up here, man. Like, but so Thanos no slouch either. Like that's why this is such a hard debate, because as a Marvel fan and a Dragon Ball fan, like I honestly want to give it to Thanos just based on the fact that like everyone's saying Goku's too nice. He's just too nice. Like he's gonna be like, that was cool, Thanos, when you erased that thing over there, like Kamehameha. Oh, you survived. That's super dude. I can't believe you survived that, man. That's dope, man.
In any of the seasons, does Goku ever have a girlfriend?
Oh,
He has a wife.
He has a wife?
He has 2 children.
Okay, so then why is he described as being nice?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say
No
that
man
it's
with 2 kids is nice anymore.
Here's the deal. Here's
No
the deal.
Kamehameha
Goku don't
is
take
gonna
care of
take
his
that.
kids. Goku don't take care of his kids, man. He's got a green man to do that, man.
He's got a green man to do that?
Piccolo be looking after the kids, man. Goku.
I just realized how racist Dragon Ball Z is.
In Dragon Ball
Shocker.
In Dragon Ball Super, Chi-Chi has Goku working the fields. He's like, man, I just want to train, man. I hate pulling this hoe. He's not even going super fast. He's just doing normal human work. When he could
have it done like
He could
that.
plow this field like that. But he's like, if I do that, then Chi-Chi's just gonna have me do something else, man. Like,
So I'm going to take a real long time.
plowing this
But God, am I bored?
He's plowing this field, and Hercule comes up out of guilt because Hercule's taking credit for saving the planet twice now. He took credit for saving it versus Majin Buu now. The planet gave him $1 bazillion.
A literal bazillion.
Yeah,
Yep,
like
they
an
had the
actual
number just for
bazillion.
him.
And out of guilt, this dude rolls up to Goku's house like, yo, man, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really need this money. Like, you can have it. And Goku's like, what do I need money for, bro? And he's like, and then Goten's looking at him like, Dad, what do you mean you don't need money? He's like, bro, like, we don't spend money.
Did
around
anyone
here."
bring up food?
And then he's like, Mom, if you got that money, Mom wouldn't care about that. You could just go do whatever. He was like, oh, word? He's like, his son was like, Dad, if you get money, you could just go do whatever you want. He was like, straight. Give that Goten, take this check to Chi-Chi, I'm out. And he straight did.
Oh, word?
That's funny.
He was like, I'm out of here.
I didn't
Hey, go, make sure you go to school, Goten.
study hard. Be somebody.
So are we saying that Goku's not a good person?
He's not a good dad.
He's
Not a good dad.
He's a good opponent.
Okay.
He's
Bad husband, good opponent.
Yeah, good
Absent father, good opponent. Maybe if he fought his family, he'd be better the second time.
So let's finally break it down to brass tacks, though. Let's talk feats. By himself, without paraphernalia, Thanos feats. He has. I mean, if we're gonna talk
Super
newer
strength.
feats, even it's super strength, definitely.
Yeah.
He's taken Black Bolt, punched the dude in the gut, and destroyed whole celestial colonies. Like,
Withstood Black Bolt's planet crushing scream. I mean,
Yeah.
not Black Bolt whispering, Black Bolt screaming at him and walked through it.
Homeboy put in the earplugs.
see.
You know what I'm saying? He was like,
He was like, whatever, I can't hear you.
He also survived blast from Silver Surfer.
cosmic energy, Mjolnir's attacks. Like,
Yeah.
Knocks down Galactus.
And outside of things like Destructo Disc, we have to assume most of Goku's attacks are concussive force, not really like
Incinerating.
incineration. I mean, they can, if you get trapped in between them and an immovable space, they will incinerate you.
Yeah.
But it's mostly concussive force that he uses, and he doesn't really use Destructo Disc. He also never tries to go for killing blows. So, like, unless he really has
That
to.
would be his undoing.
Exactly. So
Just like it was Thor's.
it comes down to a fact of, in my opinion, and this is probably going to be my piece on this. It comes down to shit talk, and what I mean by that is if they're going toe to toe, Goku's going to be like, "Hey, you're really dope," you know what I'm saying? He's fighting, and Thanos is going to be like, "As soon as I'm out of here, I'm going to go to your house. I'm going to kill your fucking wife. I'm going to kill your son." And Goku's going to be like, "You can't talk about fam like that. I'm sorry."
That's against the rule.
That's the one thing, bro, that if you could kill Goku. He doesn't care, bro. There's Dragon Balls on other planets. Like, they wish him back. You talk about his family, though, Goku's taking you down.
The family he abandoned.
Or kill Krillin.
Yes. Or kill
kill
yes,
Krillin.
the family that he abandoned.
It sparked the flame on the one kill that he got on Frieza.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
I mean-
He didn't even technically. He tried to kill him, but then he also was like, Frieza was like all messed up. Goku was like, "Oh, man, I'm feeling bad now." Like, all right, listen,
you fucked up little midget. Do you want to get on this spaceship with me?
Cut in half.
And get out of here. And Frieza's like, fuck you, Goku. You, with your sorry ass, get out of here. I'll be fine. Sits on an exploding planet and blows up and then still survives. So these guys also have been shown, people that have taken these hits have been shown to be able to physically withstand planet destruction. Mm-hmm. So Thanos' hits are going to hit Goku hard, but... And then also Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan is essentially, I wouldn't say a celestial level, but it's up there with, it's a god form. Yeah. And so an Eternal would be considered kind of a demigod like that, you know what I mean? So we're talking demigod v demigod here. And it's pretty easy. To me, it comes down to absolute shit talk. If Thanos wants to pop off at the mouth, Thanos is going to take the L. If he doesn't pop off the mouth, Goku is just going to get caught slipping.
Can Goku maintain Super Saiyan status indefinitely? Or is he going to burn out?
It depends on the Super Saiyan form. Super Saiyan God,
that
he
also
can almost...
counts.
Yeah, because it takes more stamina as it goes up. And Kaioken, if he goes Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Kaioken times 20, lots of words. If he goes there, the actual essence of Kaioken is... It physically multiplies your power, and when he says times 20, literally times 20 his base form power right there. But it actively destroys his body.
So but he actually has to say it. He has to say times 20.
I mean, it's
if you watch the Saiyan saga, he'll be like Kaioken times 5, and then Vegeta will be like, man, that ain't nothing. He'll be like, all right, Kaioken times 10 then, and he's like, whoa, bro, like
what? Well, you already turned on times 5.
It's times 15 now, homie. What?
How high do I need to go?
I'm sorry, Goku. Math doesn't work like that. That's 50, my dude.
But yeah. So Goku and Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan Kaioken times 20,
which is probably his strongest,
would have to put Thanos down. And if we're going by Dragon Ball time, it might be 45 minutes in real world, but it would be like 3 minutes. He would have to put him down in like 5 minutes, basically, to make the fight go in his favor. Again, with the caveat of Thanos keeping his mouth shut.
Okay,
which, as a Marvel villain, he could never do.
Absolutely. Okay, so you agree, Erise, that it all comes down to shit talk?
It's a bold statement.
I don't know, because
that's Occam's razor, my friend.
Just so I can go back when he fought. Was it Zamasu?
Yeah.
They literally killed his family, and he got pissed off for a second, but then he turned it back. So
who did?
They killed his family as him.
Oh, it was really fucked up.
So basically, this dude Zamasu was like, yo, I hate mortals, yo. Like, it's all about gods. We're gonna erase mortals, yo. I'm tired of this. Basically, what Thanos was talking about.
Gods
and then he rolls up. Goku basically G-checks him, and then he's like, nah, screw that. You're not gonna G-check me. I'm about to kill you. The God of Destruction comes up. He's like, nah, yo. Peace, and kills him, erases him.
The God of Destruction is like, peace.
But what happens is this dude has a time ring on, right? So once he has the time ring on, he creates essentially infinite versions of himself, because his time, when he travels with the time ring, he exists outside of normal existence, and then he uses the Dragon Balls to wish. He's like, yo, I'm going to use this Dragon Ball. I want Goku's body. He wishes himself into Goku's body, and then there's two of him. There's a normal Zamasu, and then a quote-unquote Goku Black, who in America, they just straight up call him Black. They're like, hey, it's Black. It's like, hey, it's Black, shoot him!
That's it. So funny on the enemy, right?
No, that was an actual line that Funimation used.
Goku came to the future, and they were shooting, and Trunks was like, don't shoot. He's like, the guy's not black.
He's like, seriously? That's not black.
Oh my God!
Don't shoot, that's not black.
And that's the American dub.
What was it dubbed in 1952?
I'm trying to imagine the voice actors saying that. How they got through that session when they looked at each other.
Well,
don't shoot! He's not black! I done told you and told y'all and told y'all that's what it was about.
But
they were shooting, right?
Yeah, they were shooting,
even though he was black.
And that guy ended up So that guy Zamasu, the two Zamasus end up fusing himself together and become basically an immortal, omniscient being. And eventually, Goku can't handle him alone, though. He's got to go Vegito. He fuses with Vegeta.
He dick touches with his best friend,
Yeah.
Vegeta.
They dock,
So now they
dock
can dock
together.
with each other?
They're
Characters can merge and fuse together
They
now?
have two different fusions.
Jesus.
There's Porta Fusion and there's Fusion Dance Fusion. So
What about
Fusion-
Mr. Fusion? He's on the back of the DeLorean.
Porta
Steven Universe.
Fusion is with these rings.
Steven Universe.
These little earrings you get. You'd be like, yo, I'll get the left one. You know what I'm saying? You get the right one, so so people know that you're gay. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll fuse together.
They localized that shit.
But no, they fuse together, and that's how he handles that situation. And then he doesn't even handle that situation.
And they don't talk about it the next morning. They don't even look at each other.
So it's hard to say, man. First encounter, I want to give it to Thanos, and it does again. For me, I'm sorry. I know I interrupted your whole thing.
Oh, it's all good.
That shit talk. It's got to come down to shit talk. And the only reason I say that he was fine with the shit talk in the future is because he was like, oh yeah, this isn't even my reality. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna go home and fam's gonna be fine. Like,
Oh yeah, I destroyed this planet and I don't even live here.
This is my thing about Marvel. Marvel is a lot darker than Dragon Ball. Like Goku may be like, I'm just looking to fight a strong guy. Thanos like, I'm about to take you out.
Yeah.
I'm not playing. I'm finna kill you.
your family, your planet, hide your planet, hide your universe, hide your kids, because we erasing everybody.
Thanos is coming. We're erasing everybody.
Sell somewhere else. Close up shop, move it to another pocket dimension.
That's right.
Yeah, and the Marvel Universe is brutal, man. People die brutally in the Marvel Universe. So it's a lot different.
Well, not since Disney took it.
Well,
now they
that's
just.
the
I mean, who thought
No, comics still be having some pretty dramatic.
Yeah, comics, absolutely. 100%.
They were like, you guys can handle the comics. We get the movies, you know what I'm saying? Throw some jokes in there.
So based on adult versus child version DBZ, so you're thinking that Thanos would win this?
I still think. I mean, Thanos, even without the Infinity Gauntlet, have tanked some pretty strong lane. Taking blasts from Galactus, taking blasts from
Black Bolt.
From Black Bolt. I mean,
He's bitch slapped the Hulk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hulk. I mean,
If you've read,
Mysterio.
if you've read
That's just
Infinity, which was the last one of a couple of years ago, the big cross Marvel crossover. It was just the Infinity, and it was because there were two things happening at once. It was the people who helped the creatures that helped create the universe as it was, the builders, and Thanos both going, you know what, we need to do some shit here. And Thanos fought the Avengers straight up, and like you said, he bitch slapped the Hulk. Hulk comes flying and he's just like whack,
Literally.
gone, knocked out everybody, and only lost to his son.
Thane.
Yeah, to Thane. And you're like, this
Who didn't
And-
earn the OS yet.
Yeah, exactly. in a later series, Thanos wins, which is a more recent series. Thane gets power cosmic. He gets like black void power, and he becomes the host of the Phoenix. Thanos rolls on him with no gauntlet, puts his son down, and it's just like, man, you look like shit, man. Like, get out of here.
I mean, think about it. If you know the Phoenix Force devours sons,
Yep.
Thanos put him
as
down.
ninja source.
He was just like, you weren't even worthy of it.
Well,
Get
listen,
outta here.
bottom line is kids aren't going to understand father's strength until it's time. Okay? This time you got to put on dad's strength. We can play around, but let me show you some dad's strength.
Strength. STRNF.
Go to your room.
Strength.
Oh, you a man now, Thane? You a man, Thane? You paying rent on Titan?
You think just because you part inhuman, I'm not about to stop.
I'm gonna kick that ass. You gonna go in there and clean that room up. You heard me. You told your mama you ain't cleaning your room. I'm gonna show you who's gonna clean that room.
Let me get my about to get 5 across the ass.
Who would win, Randall? Thanos or Goku?
Goku.
One more
Like you
thing.
said, he might let Thanos walk away without the mouth, but as soon as he starts popping off, Goku's going to put him down.
Okay.
One more thing. In this world of Void, Who is controller of death? Is Lady Death still?
There's no death. We gotta say there's no death.
Then they'd fight to infinity.
I'm saying somebody's gonna get knocked out. You know what I'm saying? You still got consciousness. Somebody's gonna get knocked unconscious.
We got a watcher. There's a watcher as the
Autu's
he's
We'll
just
say
mediating.
he's just chilling. You know what I'm saying? He's not interfering.
right. Just like okay, here you go.
He's back there saying
The reason why I said
catchphrases.
that is because
Excelsior!
Lady Death won't let
Yeah,
Thanos
he's
die.
just kind of sitting in his chair. He's like, "That's time. Good
But
fight, true believers."
I don't think we're talking about.
Excelsior! And Roshi's just chilling him with like, "Yeah."
I don't think we're talking about death necessarily, though. That's what I mean. Like we're talking about defeat. You know what I'm saying? So like, who's gonna make somebody sleep first?
Well, I did seen an instance where Thanos was sucked into
Oblivion.
singularity and
Where they
survived.
shred you apart. Yeah.
So I don't think Goku's hitting with the force of a singularity.
Goku's been hit by. Well, all right. So, and we had this debate in that group,
Yeah.
and Mike tried to say it didn't happen, but if you watch it, it definitely did. He used the spirit bomb on Jiren. Jiren was like. Pushed it back at him.
Not
like
today,
a volleyball.
Satan. You ain't
Like
taking
a
my
volleyball.
joy.
Goku
Satan.
gets hit by this, right? And yes, he absorbs it, but he also disappears. He completely disappears, and then they show a finite point of energy appear, and then he fucking manifests out of that. So he definitely went into like a pocket universe or another. He got erased and went somewhere.
Yeah.
And with that, you have to assume that if Thanos erases him, should his will be strong enough, like the Lanterns, Goku's gonna be like Super Saiyan negative God Ultra Instinct 5, like,
And then that doesn't work. 10.
but
20.
to do that, Thanos gotta talk shit.
Let me dig more power out of my ass.
So you and Randall agree that it comes down to talking shit.
I think it comes down to talking shit, and if there's no shit talk, just stats, I gotta go Thanos. I'm sorry, I gotta go Thanos.
What if they fought after the buffet and Thanos had
pack
extra
that shit
ice
away.
cream?
He's
The
still gonna
itis
go.
wins. The itis wins on that one.
Yeah.
Stefan, what's the final word here?
My gosh, I'm just being told about all these great things that Thanos has done, but I'm not saying this because of plot armor. I still think that Goku can still pull out a victory on this one. He is tangled with the best
Regardless
of the best.
if he talks shit.
Yeah, regardless of talking shit. He is tangled with the best of the best. He has gone up against Golden Frieza. He's gone up against Beerus. Maybe not won every single match with him, but he's come pretty close. And he's even taken down Jiren with a little help, but still.
Who is a character that's beyond
Anything.
God of destruction level? Like, he's beyond God of destruction level.
Well, let me ask a question about the DBZ because you said he's fought the best of the best.
Yes.
I've heard the same names been talking about DBZ since they started. Frieza, Trunks, Piccolo, all these.
Oh, they've
Any
all been
new
power
people?
creeped.
Jiren.
Any new people?
Jiren is the new bad boy in town.
Okay, and when did he show up?
At
He
the
sh-
Tournament of Power.
How many years ago was that?
1 year.
Okay,
He was a very
so-
recent character.
How long has DBZ been around?
He's been around
30?
for
30 years? So
yeah,
when you say Goku's fought the best of the best, in 30 years, all he's fought is his group of friends over and over.
Whoa!
He's
Now you
made
fucked up.
enemies.
Same
Now you
group
fucked
over
up.
and over.
You have
Every
fucked
time,
up now.
no, that's another thing about Goku. Every time
That's called
that he
sparring.
whoops, every time he whoops your ass, he's gonna take you out to lunch. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna go see a movie together. Your best friends.
You're going to make up.
Your best friends now. If
You didn't do
fight
that
Goku-
with Frieza.
Bruh, you didn't see the Tournament of Power?
That was no.
They handled it
Frieza's
together.
only incentive was because he thought that a meadow of daisies and dandelions was an actual hell.
So how can you
and
say
he would have
he fought-
done anything to get
At
his
the
meal
end of that,
ticket
though,
out.
They were like, Frieza was like, I'm about to take over the whole universe again, and Goku.
He's like, yeah, well, I'll just
Goku's
stop
like,
you.
Get out of here, bro. I'm gonna stop you. You know we homies, right? Like
But how can you say he's
like,
fought the best
whatever.
of the best
Peace.
when it's the same people
no,
he's
it hasn't
fighting
always
over
been
and
that.
over?
No,
The thing about
you got to talk arcs. So I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm sorry. But the thing about the DBZ universe is the thing. What I like about Goku over Superman is he has to get stronger. He wasn't born all powerful. He grows in strength. He fights. He grows. He gets stronger. He learns new techniques. So the thing about the DB universe is that applies to everybody. So those same people he fought 20 years ago, are 30 times as strong as they are. He fighting.
That's called life.
That's getting strong.
You get better.
So
if you fight for a living, eventually you get better fighting or you stop living.
I'm saying,
That's a fair point.
but did Squirrel Girl take down Thanos or not?
bro, we are not.
We're not jumping to
not
that.
talking-
That was
She's
in
a
the
fucking
alternate universe.
Did Thanos lose to squirrels or
are
not? That's
not
all I'm
talking
asking.
In a pocket dimension, because she used the Kamehameha.
This is sadly true.
All right,
Yes.
so you say Goku still.
I would still say Goku still, that he can still apply all the techniques that he's learned on his journey and still take out Thanos, whether it be with Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times insert X number, or if he actually manages to find the time to charge up a spirit bomb that will take him out, because you know that Thanos be with that ill intent.
Thanos probably would be like, because if you see the new movie and stuff, obviously we're talking Thanos as a whole, new movie, comics, all that. Sometimes he'll shut him down, but a lot of times Thanos will be like, no, go ahead, set up, it's straight, like, go ahead, no, straight. Go
Take
for
your
it, bro.
shot.
I want to see that.
He's like, but he makes it clear, you are going to hit me as hard as you can.
and then I'm gonna knock your teeth out your mouth.
Yeah, like he's taking like blasts from Silver Surfer and don't even blink. Like this. Psh, all right, what are you doing?
Seriously?
Damn gnats.
Is that it?
That's what you got. That's what you got.
That's cosmic energy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or as they
okay.
write, the power cosmic.
That's
power
right.
cosmic.
The power cosmic.
So yeah, all in all, I think some way, somehow, with everything that he's done, I think Goku can win.
All right, George, what's your final word? Well, not final word, but
No, I'm going to
Ultimately,
say,
who do you
based
think?
on the way Goku has been written and used, that he would probably win. And that's coming from a Marvel and traditional comic line guy. I'm thinking the way that it is done, that Goku would likely win because he is essentially unlimited in his abilities, and Thanos does have limits in his baseline
this
abilities.
is the last time
And
you're coming on this show.
I'm gonna say to tack on to you, to tack on to you and what you both said earlier. Thanos' weakness is that he doesn't think he deserves it. Goku's strength is that he believes he's gonna overcome everything. So like that strength
gonna kick
versus
you while you're
that
already
weakness just doesn't match up with the W.
Yeah, I agree. Thanos' crippling depression will be the death of it. I don't deserve it. I haven't got out of bed in 3 weeks.
Friends.
Let me get him some Zoloft and some Xanax, and then we'll see if he could take Goku out.
So even though the consensus here is that
Make
Goku
sure
would
Goku's
win,
got some of that Ritalin too.
I personally disagree with it, but I guess the consensus here is that
Is it 2-4?
yeah.
I'm going with Thanos all the way.
Same here, man.
I'm gonna say-
but we're outvoted.
I'm gonna go.
Sorry,
Mine-
Thanos. We're pulling for you.
My goal, my statement was completely contingent on
Talking shit.
On talking shit. So I mean, it's still 3-2, but
Yeah, I think it's like 2-2-2
But I was-
because you two are based on like
yeah,
what
so
shit
like-
talking would be.
So it is kind of like 2-2-2. So we got 2 wins. The verbal conversion, you know what I'm saying?
And we already
then-
figured that if we come back and talk about this for a second time, Goku would have learned from our first conversation
first
and be able to clearly say
pull some full-on camera up in this shit.
Dude, if he gets put down by Thanos, and then the second time around, Goku's not playing around. Goku's like it's over. Like
Okay.
Goku's gonna have been charging a spirit bomb for like 2 weeks before that next fight comes up.
So here's the thing I'll throw in there, and just because you know that Thanos and Darkseid are essentially the same kind of characters, though Darkseid is a god, literally one of the new gods. That's
Eternal.
a different. He's an Eternal versus one of the new gods who was actually born of the old world, whatever.
Yeah.
That's an even that would be an interesting take.
Oh, Thanos
because
from Darkseid?
Yeah, well, because Darkseid's one of the more recent not more recent, but again, when I was reading GLA in the 90s, when they decided that it wasn't just that he's another bad guy, that he was a world crushing villain,
god, yeah.
a new god, and he'd taken over Earth, and they showed that he was converting them into his people. He was converting them into parademons and like giant Omega signs all over the planet, and the big fire pits and everything.
What are those bombs he uses? Those Omega bombs.
Omega beams.
Yeah,
no, the beams. Yeah, Omega beams. I was going to talk about that, but he actually has these bombs that he'll send to planets that essentially wipe out the whole population and then start terraforming it for apocalypse style.
Yeah, those are the fire seeds that end up creating the giant
Batman showed
fire
up
pits.
showed up was like, yo, I done activated your stuff. He's like, man, ain't nobody got that password. He's like, homie, Epsilon 579, your mother.
Yes,
Darkseid was
that's exactly right.
was like, what the? He was like, bro, you gonna destroy my planet? He was like, I'm about to destroy your planet. He was like, you know what? I respect you, man. That Kryptonian in the Amazon, they wouldn't have had the stones, bro.
So
that is exactly right.
What's the difference between him and Star-Lord's dad, then? Have you guys seen Guardians?
Eon?
You gotta talk about which Star-Lord dad.
Hold on.
MCU Star-Lord dad, or are we talking actual Star-Lord dad?
There you go.
Okay.
There's a real guy named Star-Lord?
No, Star-Lord's dad.
All right, I got this.
All right.
As I actually had a full-length conversation with an ex-girlfriend actually about this. She's like, well, I mean, can't you just do that everywhere? It's like, no, they state that... No, that they state that... You son of a bitch, now I'm giggling. They stated that his power is only available on his planet. That he can... Because the planet that he's on... is him. If you were to plop him on Earth, he's basically like your average Joe.
Eon?
He retains some of his planet.
Ego.
He retains some of his godly powers off planet. That's why he's able to obviously traverse the universe without and change his body shape however he wants. He also has some of it, but he does have to return to his corporeal being, I guess.
Yeah. You could say his nucleus.
Yeah. His mind, if you will, has to return back to his planet to eventually, but he does maintain his power outside of that. Now Thanos has gone up against Ego with the black
who is it? The Coliseum, the Black Order, or
the Black Order? that whatever his squad is.
Yeah, the Black Order. The Black Order. The Coliseum.
I just noticed. I was in bed the other day and I was like, Black Order. I was like, Proxima Midnight, Ebony Maw, Black Dwarf. This dude just named a bunch of people black and said, y'all the Black Order.
Don't shoot him. He's not black.
Yeah, and was it one black man on the squad? I mean, talk about cultural appropriation.
Thanos likes the chocolate.
I believe he does. I'm just glad I managed to go full circle with that.
But yeah, that one clarifying point you point out, MCU Star-Lord's father is Ego, and then the comic books, he's Jason of Spartax. So his father is a ruler of a star empire, but not anything particularly special except for being an alien.
Yeah. He's still part alien, part human, but he's not part living god.
Right. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. There.
Also,
I guess
sucked when he lost those powers in the MCU. I was like, man, wait. Man, shut your dad down. Keep the planet, though.
Keep the house. Get rid of the tenant. You are half God, for Christ's sake.
Wait, you killed my mom, bro?
But that's messed up.
You know what?
Why did you say Martha?
Another one of those Martha instances.
God. I want the DC Universe movies to be good.
Yeah.
I mean, we all do.
It needs Zack Snyder to not be involved anymore.
That, and they could if you could just turn up the tint a little bit,
Yeah.
Just let me
get out of the blue apocalyptic look.
Let me see details so I can appreciate all the sets that you guys designed.
Yeah.
Well, it's like I said, to me, Marvel is WWE, DC was WCW. Much darker, everything. Think about it. Mm-hmm. WWE was all pop and color. WCW with the New World Order was all black, dark. Come on, bald, gray Hogan got a black stubbly beard.
Yep.
Why was he still even there, man? He should have stayed retired.
I watch, the thing about DC's heroes is that they are of the iconic sort. right? They are the again, my one more old man reference back to the 90s JLA. When Grant Morrison was writing them, he wrote them in the idea that they are the pantheon. Mm-hmm. So you had, you had the new pantheon. You had Superman as Zeus and Wonder Woman
Hermes.
as, and all those things. And that makes it hard to make movies of them because you are setting them up because they are powers and archetypes more than characters.
The exact problem with Superman in
You're
general.
not mortals with power. You're gods with mortal
exactly.
issues.
Yes.
Why his stories are so, in my opinion, uninteresting is because the only thing that can happen in his story is a cosmic destruction entity, and then he punches it. Like, that's your Superman story right there. At least Batman has to get in the cave and type up some stuff and say, "Okay, I see where you're going with that, though." You know,
I'd suggest, for a couple of things to read All-Star Superman.
Yeah.
And All-Star Superman was a 12-issue thing, and that was a Luthor plot. He overpowered Superman to the point where he was dying from solar radiation. Mm-hmm. And through that series, you get to see that whole thing about Superman, the God among men, that he wants to. I believe Clark Kent would like nothing more to not be Superman.
I agree.
Just be a guy.
Let's not talk Superman Prime.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll talk about overpowered characters.
Next on Impossible Battle, Superman Prime versus Goku.
Let's say Superman Prime versus Hal Jordan Spectre.
Okay. Oh, jeez.
Wow. That will be another
Because you're talking the God's vengeance, because God exists in the DC universe. You're talking God's spirit of vengeance, who has its own sentience, and then Hal Jordan's will so powerful that it overpowered God's will and took God's power and was like, "Let me hold these worlds apart real quick while y'all handle that stuff."
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So we're talking about celestial fights on a different level now.
Yes.
And celestial fights,
That's
like
right.
multiple realities.
Man, I can't.
So what should the
Franklin
next one
Richards.
be about? What should the next one be about, yeah?
God, maybe we should.
Are you guys
have a
interested in
poll.
doing this again?
We're gonna call
I
it.
would love to do this again.
Impossible
This was a lot of
Battles
fun.
or something?
What'd you think about that? What'd you think about that title? I suggested balance patch.
Balance patch, I like
You know what I'm
that.
saying? Like we got because you got to take their characters, you got to take their biggest ones and their smallest ones and their biggest defeats, and then you got to balance it out. You know
Next
what I
up,
mean?
Mario versus Luigi. The battle for the ages. Winner gets Peach. Luigi finally gets a piece.
What's something that we
Loser
all
gets
kinda know
Daisy.
about? You know what I'm saying? Like do we have to pick like a Marvel and DC?
No, it can be anything that.
Let's say what's something that we're all kind of well versed in here.
I'm pretty good in Marvel, DC.
He's an anime guy.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
an anime guy.
So let's put
I used to watch Ramna one half.
let's put Onslaught.
Oh,
Put Onslaught.
okay. Onslaught's up
Who-
there.
I don't know anybody. Somebody give me
I
somebody.
mean, I don't
to
know
fight
who Onslaught is.
Ooh, Onslaught.
Oh.
Essentially, Magneto
He's
went
the
too
Goku
far.
of Marvel.
Magneto
No, I'm
went
kidding.
too far. Wolverine was like, "Screw you." Magneto was like, "Give me your skeleton."
Yeah, he pulled the metal out of Wolverine.
And then Professor X was like, and like went inside, basically made Magneto catatonic, but in so doing, Magneto's malice entered Professor X's mind, and then Professor X has sequestered off a section of his mind of his evil, his dark thoughts. So Magneto's evil, Professor X's evil come together, and then because Professor X is such a powerful psionic, it manifests itself into its own being, which is essentially a cosmic multi-reality
Split
being.
personality disorder.
Oh boy,
he was split on a bigger level.
Jugs,
Crippled
gotcha.
split.
my God.
Because of
You
Onslaught.
got to think about how powerful of a psychic Professor X is.
Oh, I mean, I know,
But he
about
can't
that.
make his legs
I just didn't
move.
know that he was out burning out extraterrestrials.
He's not a telekinetic, bro.
Telepathic, not telekinetic.
I didn't know that his onslaught of
Jean Grey
imaginary
could've.
friends was going to go on a rampage.
Oh yeah,
Onslaught.
Who goes up
was,
against Onslaught?
Well, Onslaught was a reason that they ended up splitting and doing because Franklin Richards tried to save everybody and made a pocket universe.
I've got
and
a great
created
one.
some of the worst versions of those heroes you ever seen because Rob Liefeld was drawing them.
Onslaught versus a fully powered Doomsday.
Okay.
But I mean, for the next one.
Okay, we've got Doomsday, we've got Onslaught. Who else? What else are you guys versed on? That we're able to wax about?
Honestly, I think we've set the bar pretty high. I'm not sure if we want to keep it there.
Go bring it low.
Bring it low.
But I would want to bring it lower, just to make
Squirrel Girl versus One Punch Man.
who can bullshit the longest.
Deadpool versus Deathstroke. You know,
See, that's a decent one though. Deadpool would win. Unfortunately,
Deadpool is Deathstroke 2.0.
Knockoff battles coming up next. Deadpool and Deathstroke.
Or Namor and Aquaman.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. Namor and Aquaman. Although
How about
I
we
would
do
say
that?
Namor. Honestly.
How about
Namor versus
we do
Lugo?
like a series of knockoff battles?
Okay.
Seriously, the same people
Yeah.
that were knockoffs of each other, and we talk about who would win because
So-
they basically got. We'll hit Thanos and Darkseid. We'll hit Aquaman and Submariner.
Dr. Fate and Doctor Strange.
Doctor
I would
Doom and
actually
Doctor
enjoy that.
Strangelove.
Mike, do you have
And
an
the fourth
entire
contender,
history of
Dr. Field did.
mispronouncing character names?
Pretty much.
I was going to say, so it's this dark side.
Seed.
Anybody familiar with?
How is it side? It's not S-I-D-E.
Hold on. Wait. Have any of y'all ever played, or at least have seen, the new Marvel versus Capcom game?
Yeah.
And are y'all familiar with Mortal Kombat versus DC?
Yeah.
Yes.
Dark Khan versus Ultron Sigma.
Okay, that's a decent one. I'll say
I'll have to
Mortal
verse
Kombat-
myself a little bit
Mortal
better than
Kombat
that, but
versus
yeah.
DC was a garbage game, though.
But it made Dark
Great
Khan.
concept, garbage game.
Yeah, and
Would've
they
been better
did. They
in
did
comic
change it.
form
They did
or
change
anime.
it to
That's why
Injustice.
when it became
eventually
Injustice, it made it a
yeah.
better game. Well, they let them do brutal
Satsuno
things.
Hado versus, you know what I'm saying? Like if any of you have played the new Marvel vs. Capcom, there's actually a point in time where Thanos is out there, right? He makes this gauntlet, not an Infinity Gauntlet, it's a different gauntlet.
Yeah, you know,
and then he steals the Satsuno Hado from Ryu, which is like the dark energy of that universe. And then he
He's
goes
just going around universes taking gems and
Then
shit.
he goes to death. He goes to death. He's like, "What up, boo?" And she's like, "Man, why are you even here? Like, I done curbed you like 3 times. You can't kill me." He was like, maybe not with something from your universe, girl, but check out this Satsuno Hado. This shit's killed demons, gods, and death." And then like, you know, he goes out, he fights death. I'm saying, if you're gonna wife up death, you gotta put her down.
Gotta let her know who is in charge.
Well, speaking of death, that's another good one. Death versus Mephisto.
Is that equivalent, or are we talking?
But
Okay, so Death
is he-
Marvel.
is he the
Mephisto
devil?
Mephisto is still
also
Marvel,
Marvel.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Marvel.
So Mephisto is the devil.
Yeah.
And
So he's already dead,
well, yeah,
right?
but if you say, I mean, in the recent Thanos Wins comics, Mephisto makes Punisher the Ghost Rider, and then he becomes a Herald of Galactus as the Ghost Rider, so he gets power cosmic from Galactus.
Who?
Punisher.
Oh, yeah.
Punisher.
Frank Castle.
Frank Castle is funny when they set it up. They're like Thanos didn't even know who Frank Castle was. Frank Castle
Sound like a movie trailer.
Frank
and then
Castle.
they met.
They literally, it was like Frank Castle would have died a little bitch if for not this last thought. And then his last thought was like, I just wish I could punish him. I'll do anything to punish him. And Mephisto was like, anything. Sign here. And so he becomes the Ghost Rider. He becomes the Ghost Rider. Then after being the Rider for a long time, Galactus comes like, "What's up, yo? Let's go see Thanos, man. I hate that dude." He's like, "Yo, I hate that dude." He's like, "Here's some power cosmic." They roll on Thanos, right? Galactus and the Rider are coming at him. Thanos just goes like wham, and Galactus's head just comes off his shoulder, and Thanos is like, "I like you, Ghost Rider. You looking mad svelte right now. Like, you want to come chill with me?" And he's like, "I guess."
John Lee, son.
He's like, I gotta stay employed. Like, so
I got a mortgage.
he rides with him, and that's the power of hell, power cosmic. And then more augmentations from Thanos, and Thanos has that guy on a leash. So,
Wow.
Mephisto versus Death, I don't think that's a matchup.
Okay. All right. Let's name some other matchups coming up then that we can hit up. We can always hit the always popular Avengers versus JLA.
That's a
pretty
wide
because that's going to be
spectrum,
5 tiers, 5 or 6 tiers.
And that's
deep.
one
reserves.
That's one
I was
with
good.
actual evidence because they have fought
Yes.
in comics, so we have something to base our.
Well, like
And they've done the
Actually
some
individual.
of
stand
it-
on.
some of
Amazon.
it's kind of like
It is
sketch.
Silver Age. It is
It's
Silver
old
Age.
writing.
It's Silver Age.
it was one scene where like Batman kicked Hulk in the stomach. I mean, come on, man.
Bro, so
I mean, if
you're
Captain
big,
America
you're
can
gonna
go ahead
fall.
and just kick the dude in the no.
so
If
Batman basically
Come on,
uses
man.
judo
but now,
on
if
him.
Captain
he uses
America
his
hit
size
the dude in
against
the
him.
nuts,
Listen, say what you want, but it's
Hulk, bro.
that's my same
happened.
argument
I'm
with
sorry,
all those
did you
new
see
movies,
Infinity War? When-
like Atomic Blonde.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how good you are in karate. All I gotta do is grab you and fall. Doesn't matter how good you are, how much you know. Like I said, these movies like Atomic Blonde and where these women are kicking ass. That's great. That's fine and dandy. But Oak, the Kingpin, said this when he fought against the Red Skull. Oak does not flinch when bamboo is flung against it. Okay? And they fought in their underwear, so there was no cheating in a dome. Does anybody remember that?
You want to talk about Kingpin, though? How about when Peter showed up to jail and was like, I heard you put a hit out on me, though. All right. And then he took his mask off in jail and was like, this is me.
Yeah.
Whips his ass in front of all the prisoners and was like, let me tell you, if I even feel a shadow on my back, I'm coming back here and I'm killing your ass.
That
He
is
played
about
Mr.
the baddest you'd ever seen Peter Parker go into the
You're
drill
gonna
and
you're gonna
beat
talk
the
about
shit out
Aunt
of
May,
the Kingpin.
homie? You're gonna talk about Aunt May?
That's right.
Bonesaw is ready.
Peter Parker basically went Mr. Big on him and R. Kelly. Look at me. I did this to you. I want you to know this.
I am the captain now.
Yeah. I will show you the way.
So I think that the JLA versus Avengers would be a cool series.
I think we could do that one.
All right.
Because you got guys dressed in bad colors, purple and green, fighting each other.
So there it is. There you have it. Questions answered. I think we covered all the bases on this one. If you got a different opinion, if you got a different thought, hit us up on Facebook. Reach out to us. Up next, Avengers versus JLA. That's the Justice League of America, right? I think, yeah. JLA versus Avengers. It's Battle World Coliseum.